Well, hello, everybody. This is Jamie Silver with Herff Jones Yearbooks, and I wanted to welcome you back to school and welcome you back to Yearbook, as well as episode number 1 of this new concept we're trying, this podcast like option this year. Working title for this is Virtual Coffee Break. Please feel free to give me feedback on a serious note all year, because this is something that I'm trying that's new, and I would love to hear what you guys think. My thought process here was to offer you something every Monday with timely content throughout the school year. So as we get closer to portraits, for example, we'll be doing demonstrations on that. Today's going to be a little long. My goal here, guys, is to keep this short and sweet so you don't have to carve out a lot of time every week. My goal is about 10 minutes Monday after school. This one might be a little longer because there's, as you can see from this little agenda here, is a bunch of fun stuff I want to share with you for the new school year. But in general, we're going to try to keep it short and sweet, as well as recording it, because I know scheduling can be a challenge, so it's going to be on demand as well, and I'll send that out shortly after each Monday afternoon, so you can watch it at your time or share with your staff throughout the school year, again, every week. So I'd like to share something that has inspired me to try this, and that was from a Time Magazine speaker that I listened to a few years ago now at a local press day association. The audience was a room full of mostly high school students, and his advice was regarding the future of media. And his advice was to not get too wrapped up in any one particular media. So for us, it's yearbook, right? So we're in the print world. I firmly believe that print is very valuable, and what you guys, no matter who's listening as far as elementary, middle school, high school level, what you guys are doing is very important in print form, because you are documenting what's happening there in your community at your school this year. And that's unique. You know, Facebook and Twitter, from each person's perspective, for example, can't do that. What you're doing is you're documenting history. It becomes history later and it goes on the shelf. And what's unique about the print form is that it will always work, right? Whether it's new things, we don't need to worry about software updates and finding an old player. For those of you who remember, cassettes or 8-track before, to draw an analogy to the audio world, that stuff will continue to evolve. Print will always work. It won't require anything. So 10, 20, 30 years from now, that book that you're creating right now, you can come off the shelf and you can see what happened in a curated content perspective at your school that year. So it's pretty exciting. His advice to those students listening was, as you're learning new tools and going through this process in journalism, yearbook, is to broaden your horizons and learn all these options, because it's going to help you in the future. And that's what inspired me to try this too. I am not a public speaker, never done a podcast. I just thought this might be a fun way for us to stay in touch more regularly in short bursts of information. So that's kind of where I got this idea, and we're going to move forward with it. But again, throughout the year, please feel free to give me your feedback, because I'd love to hear it. We can make changes on the fly, the beauty of this environment. So I'd like to start by introducing your Herff Jones team. Many of you listening here have probably known me for years as we've worked together. But for those of you brand new to yearbook, students, teachers, parents, I'd like to introduce myself. I got involved in yearbook myself in middle school, believe it or not, working on yearbook as a student. Did so in high school later, was the photo editor of my book, pursued a degree in print marketing and earned that degree from Western Michigan University. And for the last 15 years or so, I've been proudly representing Herff Jones and working with schools like yourself in both Illinois and Wisconsin, and helping you guys publish your school yearbook. So contact information, you don't need to take notes. All this stuff is going to be in a follow-up, as well as pertinent information like this is on the bottom of all my emails. So one thing new this year is I added a second line. So for those of you, just pick what works for you, but I have a local number, 847 and 920. Now I'd like to introduce you to Sarah Eagle. She is your CSA, stands for Customer Support Advisor in Kansas City. She's at the plant. She's at this toll-free number. You may have heard from her recently. That's her, by the way, standing next to me in the press room. That's where your books are made. You may have heard from her via email recently. She kind of sent this out as a welcome, a little bit of background on herself, her family, her approach to customer service and support materials, as well as some pictures to put a face with a name from some of our tech support advisors, who we'll also get to in a second. But Sarah's not here with me today, but she did share a video with me for you guys, so I'm going to play that here in a second. And here's a little greeting from Sarah Eagle. Let me turn this up so you can hear it.
Hi, my name is Sarah Eagle. I'm the Customer Service Advisor here at the Kansas City Yearbook Plant. The they'll be working with you and Jamie Silver this year on your 2017 yearbook. I've been here 10 years and work with approximately 300 schools. I love doing yearbooks. One of the best things about working with yearbooks is that no yearbook is the same. If you have any questions come up throughout the year, please don't hesitate to send me an email or give me a phone call. I look forward to working with you.
Sarah Eagle is awesome. For those of you who know her and talk with her on the phone, she and I probably talk more or less on a daily basis throughout the school year, coordinating and helping schools. So she's great. You're more than welcome to call her directly anytime. Want to jump back to this? She mentioned, or she in her email here, she mentioned some of the TSAs. So we also have TSAs, Technical Support Advisors, available at an 800 number, toll-free number here. Here's some of these great folks in Kansas. Their specialty is technology, right? So as you guys are working this school year, they're all Adobe certified. So whether it's learning our Herff Jones e-design program or the Adobe Creative Suite, including InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, even if you want to create something offline in one of those Adobe programs and bring it into e-design to put it in the yearbook, they can help. They're amazing. They're available. We have extended hours this year. And honestly, guys, these are the folks that I go to when I can't figure something out. So I always say you're welcome to call all of us. We're here as a team to help you. Call myself, Sarah, or any of our TSAs at that phone number there. One last person I wanted to introduce is Jeremy Piper. He's in our Order Center, OC. He's your Order Center coordinator at the same number as Sarah. Jeremy's specialty is online sales and any orders that are coming through Herff Jones to help you with yearbook sales. And by the way, for those of you listening who do this, awesome. If you're not using the Order Center, please let me know if you're interested. It's a complimentary service. It makes it available for your parents, your fellow students, to buy their book on our website for no fee, as well as call an operator in Kansas City and place an order with a person over the phone. This can be mixed with your sales in school. So if you're interested in this, please let me know. But I want to introduce Jeremy. That's kind of his area specialty as well. Okay, so as we get into this new school year, I'm often asked, what do we do these first few weeks? Whether you're a veteran or a brand new yearbooker, a couple things to share. My first answer to that is always coverage. We got to make sure we cover things. If we don't cover, events from day one at school, all that other stuff we're going to get to in the coming weeks as far as learning the software, layout and design, theme, none of that's going to matter because we don't have any pictures to put in it. So you really want to focus on, I'm sure you have already, getting pictures of everything happening at school in your community. Also consider using eShare. If you haven't used eShare and you'd like more information, let me know. But eShare is essentially a tool to help you collect photos from everyone in your community. They can do so at hjeshare.com by typing in a school code that we set up for you, or downloading one of the free apps in the Android store or the iOS store. So iPhone, iPad, or anything Android powered, they'd be able to send them right from that device. So great thing to consider. Number two, as far as priority right now this time of year, we gotta talk about online sales. So for those who listening, some of you, not many, have your books included in registration fees or something like that, or a private school where everybody gets a book. That's great. That's what we all would like to do. Most of us have to work at online or yearbook sales. So that's something to focus on, and setting up that online sales and any other in-school plans that you have, that's really important. Part of that is the name list, and we can talk more about that in future episodes here, but it's getting information, and I have a PDF I can send you that you can share with the office, pulling information from Skyward or Infinite Campus to get student names and data for the purpose of you selling your books. We do nothing else with it. We have a FERPA policy that I can share with you guys for administrators who are interested. We don't share, sell, or do anything with that data. It's purely for you to use and to make it easier for parents to buy their books, because now when they go to the store, they can type in their student's name, for example, and purchase their book right there. So it makes it easier for them, as well as for you later in e-design, which we'll get into later, where you'll have a roster of the whole school's community in e-design. So you can start tagging photos with proper names and all that. It's a great thing to have. Again, it's one of those things this time of year that I encourage you to get set up. Let me know if you have questions on that. Team building with your yearbook staff. Again, we're going to have folks listening to this who you might do the yearbook on your own, so you may not need this. You might have a full yearbook staff at a high school or middle school where you have a group of people and you want to get to know each other. For example, some resources on that. I'm going to take you to this website. This is yearbookdiscoveries.com, and I'm just going to use this as an example. And we're going to type in team building and just see what comes up, because we got a lot of resources here for you. Here's some examples. These are just some games, some downloads to help get you guys involved and get to know each other so you can work as a team to create the book. So team building, great thing to do this time of year. Setting goals for the year, right? So depending on, again, if you're at an elementary school, middle school, or high school, you probably have some goals. They may vary. Here's a couple examples. More at the high school level, some middle schools may be pursuing awards, winning awards for your student publication. Now is the time to look into that. Find out what the deadlines are. Find out what's critiqued so you can work towards the yearbook you're making now. Make sure you're making it such that the judges are going to find things they're looking for. So look into that. Coverage. No matter what age group, if we're buying a yearbook, we want to be in it, right? Or have our children in it if we're a parent buying this book. So if coverage is something you want to work on, let me know. That's something I can help you with. Sales, as I said, we got to make sure this book gets sold. And we have lots of tools to help you with that in addition to the online sales. So if that's a priority for you, let me know. I'm happy to help you with that. Brainstorm. Again, my background is in photography. So if you would like help taking your photography to the next level, please let me know. Video as well. There's great ways to use video, much like we are right now. But in the yearbook world, to promote your book, recruit for your book if you need more people involved, or actually putting it right in your book. There's something called RASMA. Many of you are familiar with that. If you're not, let me know. But it gives you the ability of expanding coverage of something happening at school where the books arrive at school, you take your phone, you point it at the page, and it comes to life with a video of whatever event you decide to use RASMA for. Really cool stuff. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. We can talk more. Also, time to critique, right? We want to look at last year's book as a group, see what you like, what you didn't like, what you want to change. Also, time to look for inspiration. Either other yearbooks, our website here, Yearbook Discoveries, tons of great stuff under here under resources and all that. But also, honestly, Barnes & Noble, your local library, is a great place for that. Barnes & Noble in particular, that magazine wall, boy, you can get some beautiful design ideas right there. And if you find a design you guys like and you want to help translate that, let me know. Share a picture of it with me or whatnot, and we can help translate that layout and design or overall theme look to a yearbook spread, and I can help you do that. So just let me know if you find something that's inspirational. Once we get through some of that stuff, again, this is just the first few weeks, you want to start reviewing eDesign. If you're new to eDesign or if you're returning, you want to take a look at eDesign here, and you want to click on the help button, which will take you into these video tutorials. I know this isn't all that exciting, but these are the basics. These are the foundation for learning how to use eDesign as a tool. So if you're using eDesign, which is most of you, I would encourage you to take some time, anytime, because they're recorded. You can watch this anytime you like at home or at school, and just go through some of the basics. That way, when we spend more time together, we can focus on the fun stuff and not just worried about which tool does what, but actually creating things that you found in other places. So I would encourage you, again, to click on eDesign Help, come through here and just kind of thumb through some of these videos and get familiar or reacquainted with how the tool works. Lastly, for this time of year, I would touch base with your school photo company, right? So you're going to want to make sure, it may already be done, but just double check, make contact, let them know you're working with Herff Jones yearbooks and you'll need your portraits. They'll know exactly what to do. We'll get to that much later in an episode of here where we can show you how to automate all the portrait flow. So we got to get that from your portrait. And if you're at a high school or middle school, they may do some other pictures for you that you want to get on their calendar. Clubs and events, athletics especially, things like that. Okay, looking at what's new this year. This is one of them, this episode, virtual coffee break, if you will, or whatever we end up calling it, but this podcast-like idea we're gonna experiment with this year. The Kansas City switchboard has extended hours this year, 7 to 5:30. So if you're calling Sarah, for example, that window's a little bit longer, 7 to 5:30. TSA, the technical support, we've extended this pretty dramatically. We know that this is an important number for you guys, especially as you're working on deadline night or whatnot. This is extended from 6 a.m. to 10 Central Standard Time, so keep that in mind. Online curriculum. For those of you, okay, this part's probably more for if you have a yearbook class, okay? If you're familiar with our teaching journalism curriculum, it's very much like a teacher might have for an English class or a science class, except yearbook specific. And those have been a student workbook in printed form and a binder. what we've done is we've taken all that content and made it available to you via Schoolology. So many of you may be familiar with this. Here's an overview map of it, and it's broken down by week. Really helpful stuff to help you get through all the steps of building the yearbook, and it's constantly being added to. Okay, so I'll just jump into one example to show you what it's like. Let's go down to, how about design? So in here, you're going to see things by topic, including rubrics for grading, checklists, examples, all kinds of great curated content to help you teach the yearbook class. Again, if you're a club, you may not want this, but you could use this as just a starting point. If you need more help with marketing, you can come in here. So there's great content in here. It is password protected, so if this is something you're interested, please let me know and I can send you the website and the password to get in here. This is brand new this year, some pretty great stuff. Also, we're going to jump into Yearbook Academy. So these are videos that are brand new this year, and these are being added throughout the year, kind of like what we're doing with this podcast here, in a timely fashion. This time of year is obviously sales. You've heard me talk about it. So sales and marketing, social media, getting your book awareness out there so people are buying it. And then the next topic probably on your mind is theme, if you're going to have a theme for the year. And there's some really great videos on here that talk about theme. So this is also under yearbookdiscoveries.com. So check that out. Some great tools there. Now let's jump into I'm just to read through these real quick, some basic updates in eDesign. Now for editors, when you set up a new editor, log in, there's a button for an auto assign, and this simply gives them access to all pages right away with one click instead of having to assign all the pages. We've made some enhancements to the Save It Forward function. So I know we're talking about this year, but looking forward to next year, things that you're going to create this year that you might want to save forward so you don't have to recreate the wheel, that we've added to that, including more from the ladder. The default is now frame fills with gray for photo boxes, and you have the option for that placeholder text. Many people have asked me if it's Latin. If you see the templates, it's not Latin. It's really nothing. It's just gibberish, and there's an option to turn that off now if you don't want that. So that's new. Duplicate image name check. This was common where, say you put a camera card in, you went to upload your photos to eDesign, and then maybe someone else did, or you forgot you had, and you go upload it again, and now you have duplicates. So what this is going to do now, next time you upload photos, if it sees the same file name, it's going to warn you. It's going to ask you, we think this is a duplicate. Are you sure you want to proceed? Kind of situation to help reduce duplicates. Caption builder and facial tagging go along with the name list we talked about earlier. Once you tell eDesign who's who, you now have the ability to assign names to pictures, so we actually know who's in the photo. And once that's done, not only does it help you with the caption builder tool built into eDesign, it also helps you immensely with indexing later in the year. So again, these are just some groundwork things I want to share with you today to help make your job easier later. Made some minor enhancements to sticky notes, and then create and share. This is one I'd like to demonstrate real quick. So we're going to go to eDesign, going to go to library. You'll notice this new button here, and I've already activated some, but I'll show you where I got them under import. So the idea here is, guys, if you use the flyer that we produce from eBusiness to just announce the yearbooks are for sale, it worked. It was fine, but a lot of schools wanted to customize that. So what we've done is we brought it in as an editable PDF right here in eDesign. So they're in English and Spanish, depending on the grade level, and I've already turned those on, so I'm going to cancel that. They're here, and how they work is we're going to come into Book. We're going to go to Edit. Again, this is new here. Create and share. By the way, practice pages, if you're not using that, please feel free. Great place to just experiment as you're learning the program without having to put things on the page and then delete later. But again, create and share, and then this last button down here. So you pick your template, and the beauty is now it's editable, right? So before it was just a PDF that you just sent out, or use another program to overlay some graphics or customize it in some way. At this point, you can just highlight, type in your school code, any other directions you might have, and then you simply do File, Create High-Res PDF, and you just print it out. It doesn't print with any printer's marks or anything like that. Just a clean PDF that you can print, you can email, you can post on your school website, whatever you like. Just a nice way to announce that your books are for sale. So that's create and share. Take a look at that sometime. Let me know if you have any questions. Closing thoughts, My HJ Yearbook. This is a great website. Richmond Burton, hope you don't mind. I'm sharing yours, and this is last year's yearbook, so I'm not sharing any top secret things going forward. This is last year's book. It's in the hands of all the students at Richmond Burton. This is a great tool, and if you have a login to eDesign, it will work here as well. So myhjyearbook.com. This is a great place to thumb through the pages. Not necessarily edit, but you can do this even on your phone if you just want to flip through and see how pages are coming together. Snapshot of your deadlines, your page, your book sales, ad sales, and then links to a lot of things I mentioned here, like Yearbook Academy. These will rotate through depending on the time of year. So this is a great place, including student coverage, to get a glance of everything, including jumping over to eShare, Yearbook sales. Think of this as a landing page, a place to start. And when I send a follow-up email, I'm going to send you a link to a video, which I'll play here just for a second.
Information customized by your user role and how you submit your book.
So this video, it's about 4 minutes, and it tells you more about my HJ Yearbook. So take a look at that. I'll send that in an email. Consider Plus One. If you haven't heard of Plus One, let me know. We can talk about it more. It's your digital yearbook companion. The idea here is it complements the printed book, and that's very important to know. It's not in place of, but let's say whoever bought a book at your school, they would also get a digital copy on their smartphone, tablet, and it is mobile-based. It's not a website, which is even better because it goes right to their mobile device, wherever they are. So think about that, something we can talk about. It is no more work because it's generated, the content is generated right from eDesign. So much like you see this preview, it's blank right now, obviously, but as you see your pages coming through, that's how the content gets to Plus One. So there's no extra work. Last two things. Please feel free to mark your calendars for Monday at 3:30 again. I know I've gone really long here, so we're going to wrap this up. But they will be shorter in the future and more demonstration-based, not talking at you like a PowerPoint thing, I promise. This will not be yet another death by PowerPoint, but another way for us to communicate through the year. We'll do Q&A. I'm also talking about possibly doing in like a round table, right? So maybe an editor's round table where we can bring together, and it can be a video feed where we can see and talk as if we're in the same room, editors from schools all over the Illinois and Wisconsin area, and we can have kind of a collaborative discussion. So that's on the table as well. Lastly, please give me a call. Let me know when is a good time to talk, schedule a meeting, or review any questions you might have in follow-up to this podcast. So again, welcome back. I hope you have a great school year, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a good day.